Okay, I finally got my new case in that I'm gonna put my gaming rig into. So I'm just going to do a quick overview before I swap everything out and put it in here. The case looks bigger, that's because it is, but the actual metal part, the chassis part, at least the height is the same on that. I've got one of my new graphics cards in to replace these old Quadro 4000s in this rig. Now I'm going to go, I was waiting till I got my upgraded graphics cards before I swapped it out because I intend to go back to air cooling. And the specs on this card and reviews and ratings rate it more than double in performance than these cards I got in here now. So I'm figuring one card until I can get the second card will still be better than these two cards combined. Now the case I'm swapping into is a Rosewheel brand throne window case. I have the side panels off right now, but I'll put them back on later. This case is, I just thought it looked cool and I liked the way it looked. Has two 140 fans up front, 140 in the back, two 140s up top, another 140 slot in the bottom, power supply mounts here, and it even has a dust screen that you can take out and clean off for your power supply fan, intake fan, or whatever you got going on down here. It has 10 hard drive slots, so that'll make a nice RAID array. Another thing that's kind of cool, though I'm not sure I'll ever use it, it's got a slot on the top, an eSATA slot essentially, where you can just drop a hard drive straight on there, or an SSD or a laptop drive. USB 3, so I'm going to have to get a USB 3 card. Several USB 2.0 ports, pretty standard. HD front audio, and two fan controllers. Each one of these controllers can run up to 4 fans. There's 5 fans in this case. There will be more. Three 5¼ drive bays. Little quick release mechanism here. Kind of cool. I'll go ahead and leave that out because that's where I put my CD drive. Now, while I don't intend to water cool this if I can get away with it, I'm going to go ahead and go over some water cooling options here. You can put a 140 mil on the back here, obviously. On top, you can fit a 280. I suppose maybe you could fit one up here if you really wanted to, but I would never try that. And I guess you could put one here in the bottom too. Although I'm not sure if you really want to do that because this will pull hot air into the case. I don't know. One other thing I thought that I like about this case that my old case did not have, it's got these vents right here, which are perfect for the graphics cards. As you can see, I don't have it on that case. So the graphics card's heat can be vented out through here, which is awesome. Now for a water cooling system, I know AlphaCool actually makes radiators that are 50 millimeters wide that would fit right on these just perfectly. They even make them 150 long, so 50 by 150 mil rad you could put in here and have you a little bit extra cooling. I actually intend to modify this case over here and throw in a couple over here. Alright, so that's the overview for this. I will record again when it's all said and done. Alright, so I've got the power supply installed and my Blu-ray drive. This power supply is kind of a long power supply because it's a 1050 watt. But all these here are for cable management, so put the cables through right here and then run them back out wherever you need them. And for the hard drives, I could theoretically just run the wires up here and then bring them up this way. Now, the fun part's going to be the main 24-pin cable. On this motherboard, it's over here. It's not in a traditional area where it's on the edge of the board, which is what these are obviously intended for. So that's going to be kind of fun to play with, but shouldn't be too bad. Alright, next step. Alright, now I've got all the add-in cards removed. And as you can see, I've not opened the loop yet. I just pulled the cards out and set them down. And I'm noticing something interesting. These tubes are perfectly clear. Now they look like they've gotten copper stained. The water blocks look like they're still okay. Maybe a little bit of dirt in there, I'm not sure. But yeah, this is no longer clear, as you can tell by the white background. But I've been running this loop hard for 2 months already. At least 2 months. Lots of heat, continually running these cards under a pretty heavy load. And the cooling performance is still there. My average temperatures have gone up maybe 1 degree Celsius. And I don't know, that could just be that needing to be cleaned back there. So, all in all, performance has been pretty good. Now let's swap this over here. Alright, so I've got the motherboard moved from the old chassis into the new chassis. As I figured, I had to run the main power supply cable in the front of the case, but I think I got it looking okay. It's black, so it blends in with the black on the PC case. Yeah. Next step is I need to reinstall all my cards and the hard drives. And here's the card, the GPU I'm installing. So the NVIDIA Quadro K4200. Physically the same length, but the board length is actually much shorter. The rest is just heatsink. Now, I'm hoping I can get away with air cooling the system from here on out. However, if I can't, I know for a fact that they make custom full cover water blocks for these Quadro 4200s that are single profile water blocks. I was finding these all day long, but could not find anything for these cards. So that's how I know about that. Alright, next step. Alright, so I've got everything back in this computer. Got stuff hooked up here. I'm not going to worry about the SATA cables right now, but yeah, those are kind of messy, but I'll deal with those another day. All I got left to do is to untangle this mess. Alright, so I've got it put together, powered on, everything that I can hook up, hooked up. And let's see, the sliders work up here. I've got the boot drive disconnected just so it won't start in the Windows. And so far everything seems good. Now just to finish putting it together and actually hook it up. The lights on the fans on the front, you can actually turn on and off, but leave the fans on. What's cool is the hard drive light is actually that light right there on the back of the... That's the hard drive light. Kind of different. Alright, now put the covers back on this thing. Alright, here it is, all put together. Since I got the fans up here turned on. There we go. What I'm going to need to do is, first off, get a full set of matching SATA cables so they're all the same color. But what I can do is I can run them between the spaces on the hard drive to the back, and then just pull them up front through right there and put them onto the motherboard so they won't see them that much. But I'll do that when I get around to fully setting up a RAID array. Front of the case. This door is actually reversible. You can take the front off, put this door on the other side so it will open from the right instead of the left. And the back of the system. Alright, so I'm going to, for this one over here, since I already have a radiator on it, I'm planning to, that other board, fully water cool the board, because why not? So I'm going to water cool the, let me get over here and show it. I'm going to water cool the VRs for the CPUs. To remove this whole thing, there's two chipsets under here. Water cool each chipset, and I'm going to have to start with 4 graphics cards. So 2 CPUs eventually, the MOSFETs, 4 GPUs. I'm going to have to add more. I'm going to have to add more RAD to this because these were barely enough to keep these 2 cards cool. I'm going to be adding chipsets and 2 older AMD CPUs, which produce a lot of heat to the loop. Of course, when I do that, I'll flush the system. What I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can measure the conductivity of this water that's in here now, because I'm pretty sure it's more conductive than the regular distilled water would be right now. So more videos will come when I get around to that, or whenever I do whatever I'm going to do over here, or both.